welcome back. My name is Dr. Simon Cowell, and I'm going to be speaking about love and obsessions. Only joking. This is Ronnie here, and I want to refer to the past relationship that I had. It was the COVID times, and I had a what's it called, a digital relationship or a far distance relationship. I don't know what it's called. It's not on the top of my head right now. And I realized that she was obsessed. She wasn't in love with me. It took me a while. It took me about 2 years, maybe 2 years, to figure out that she was obsessed with me. And before to the end tails of my relationship, it lasted a year. And for that year, I had very long calls with her, video calls. And that long distance relationship, now it's on my mind, it came quite regular. It was very, very regular that we would spend our days on video call pretty much. Before that, for a year, I was friends with her. I'm not going to get into the details of the relationship and whatnot, but what's important here is how do you discover someone's in love with you or they're obsessed with you? This is something that I see all around me, like on a regular basis. That's why I wanted to cover this topic, because I know a lot of people that are still in that confusion stage, and some people never learn. I didn't have the guidance, so I had to learn on my own pretty much. And eventually I did, it didn't take too long actually, relative to other people. It took 2 years. And we would spend very long time on video call, which is perfectly fine. Like, I really enjoyed it. And we spent about a month together. I went to her place and whatnot. So how did I discover it? When did I discover it? And how did it make me feel? How can you notice that someone's in love with you or they're just obsessed with you? I say just because I prefer connection, I prefer bonding, I prefer love compared to obsession. And I think obsession is much more common than someone being in love or you being in love with someone. That kind of connections and bonds. So, where should I start? I noticed it from the obsession with herself. So when it came to us spending time together, was it more beneficial for her or was it more beneficial for me? If it was predominantly by accident, like I didn't request it, but if it was, or even if I did request it, if it was aimed for me, then it would be likely that she's in love with me. That would be one sign that she's probably in love with me. If it was more beneficial for her, and no matter what happened in your relationship, you might be fed up of the relationship. You might make it obvious. You've had some communication, you've gave some warnings, and still she wants to hit you up. Still she wants to spend time with you. Still she wants you as a friend, even if you do break up. Then she's most likely obsessed with you. She won't say that if she was in love with you, because love, I don't know the exact reason why, but when you're in love with someone, you either give them away, you're completely okay with them not being only yours. That's what I believe in, for the least. And you're okay with them even having a future with someone else and you not being in the picture whatsoever. I think that's love in my mind, in my feelings, in my understanding. Because say you love your kids, you're still, you love them, but it doesn't mean that you're obsessively bonded with them, that you need to be in their proximity at all times and whatnot. So what happened in our relationship? We, at the middle of the relationship, when I was seeing her, when I was at her place, this was about 6 months, 7 months into our relationship, I became uncomfortable in her home. And I won't say all the reasons why, what went on, but I wasn't feeling it. I still loved her, I still cared deeply about her, but I just thought that I need to distance myself, especially. That was one of the priorities. I felt sad. Sadness was one of the predominant feelings, and I felt like I needed to find some distance. So yeah, I was always on the borderline of, should I go home now? Should I go home now? Should I book my ticket and go home now? Whatnot. And at the same time, part of me wanted to rescue the relationship a lot. Um, if she comes with me, she's going to feel differently, or am I going to get treated differently also? Maybe it's going to be better. Maybe this is just a phase. She wasn't sharing a lot of things with me. I was pretty much the secondary or the fourth or the last person to always hear about something, a decision or a thought that she had always after that point on when I visited her. She would ask about my disability of my hands, and if it would be like a problem that I had with another girl that I was with before her, if it was a problem for her, and these kinds of things. And yeah, she would communicate a lot with her parents and leave me out of it pretty much. So I always felt like I was outed in that after those moments. But besides that, there were things that were making me uncomfortable aside from that too. And there was a maturity. That was the clear underlining thing. The air was not mature. The air was like, what do I want to do? What's my wishes? What do I want to experiment with? How can I be in bed with you and do it instead of us just existing? And there was romance, there was connection, there was bond, there was chemistry. Our chemistry was fantastic. The maturity wasn't there. And that maturity was a big problem in any relationship, any single relationship that you go into. So that obsession love thing, it happened after we saw each other. So about 8 months into our relationship, I started becoming suspicious of that. And that kind of aura, that kind of feeling, I don't know what to call it. And so I did like tests. I did tests of to see like, not tests as in professional tests or some kind of stuff like that or big plan or something. I just thought to myself, if I don't feed her, if she's obsessed with me and I don't feed her, then she's gonna behave radically different. And that's what happened. So I stopped feeding her, as in giving her a lot of my time, solving some of her problems, being somebody there for her, and being someone that buys stuff for her if she needs, like small stuff. I'm not talking like, I'll get you this and I'll get you that and we'll have this and blah, 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 Just like a card, like, I don't know, a book, coloring book, like, I don't know, pens, because she did artwork and stuff like that. So stuff like that, if I was to think in my head. We got each other gifts, like this kind of personalized. She made some as well for me, and she sent it, and that was sweet. And like a small toy, a handwritten card, and some artwork and stuff like that, and photos of us, stuff like that. So that was nice and sweet, good, but it can still be a part of an obsession. It doesn't mean I can't speak. It doesn't mean that we are in love. And the love, where it comes from, I didn't understand it before because nobody told me. Nobody told me this is what love is. This is what someone who's obsessed is. And she herself thought that she was in love with me. I believe that. I'm not 100% certain, but I believe that she thought she was in love with me. So how did I discover it? I did some tests and of not giving her the attention and not validating her, pretty much. Validation is very, very important to discover if someone has an obsession with you or not. That's what I did. When she would talk and have an opinion over something, I would be like, I would do that anyway, even in the past. There was no sense of fakeness in our relationship, which was very good. But when she was toxic, so she started to be a bit more loose actually. That was a telling sign that she was losing attraction towards me. Even when I was there with her, she definitely lost some attraction towards me. She wasn't cold, like we were definitely close and intimate and whatnot. And actually, I was sometimes cold with her, but she became cold as well, for sure. And it was almost like we are family members. Like she still loves, not loves, but obsessed with me and close with me, and we're like family members. But I'm not like a prospect of the husband, the boyfriend. That's how I felt after that moment. So after that, I stopped feeding her. She started behaving more loosely, as I said, actually. I was on that and I saw that she's behaving more toxic to people online. She was playing games with, she was speaking with on Discord, and friends in general on her WhatsApp and Instagram, whatnot. And she was just a bit more like careless, reckless. And that's what was like interesting to me. I found that like why was she not like that before? Why is she like this now? And I spoke with her, communicated, blah 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 blah. A lot of speaking, lots of questions, because I was uncomfortable. It was a lot of things were irritating me at that time. And I think the right way to deal with it is one of the things I shouldn't have asked that many questions, and I should have just distanced myself and made it clear. I already made it clear before in the relationship as well, but I wish after I made it clear and communicated with her and warned her, okay, I'm gonna take some steps back instead of just blocking her. That's what I did. I had enough. I felt overwhelmed and I blocked her for 1 week. I didn't speak with her. And then I came back, and then I think I told her that I wanted to leave after like 2 weeks, 1 month after blocking her, something like that. I said that I wanted to end the relationship. Um, it was it was tough to watch her cry, tough to watch her emotional, and but I knew that in the back of my head that this is the right decision because she's not thinking as herself, the mature self. I think if she was speaking as the mature self of herself, then she would decide that for her as well. So I believe that for her sake, I was making a good decision as well. That's how it went. I stopped to, you know, talk with her. I stopped to. I would hang out with her. I would still speak to her, and not after breaking up, but before breaking up, I was still around her, and I would just be there for her, just as a person in general would be. If you have any questions, if you have any problems, you want to talk about something that's difficult, then I'm still here. But that that is the times where I was feeling cold, irritated, isolated, sad for her life, sad for her sake, and wanted to solve problems. But I'm not the Mr. Solve a Problem man to be in someone's life, and I'm certainly not her father. She said to me at those times, she said that I should be more patient and that I should accept, it's a stage of her, and we're all gonna have stages, which is correct. But for me, it felt like more than stages. I didn't think that was just a stage. That's what it exposed in my perspective. It exposed that she's obsessed with me, not in love with me. She didn't know this. I think she still thought that she was in love with me, and that she became out of love with me after meeting up and after 1 month, 2 months. She felt like she was out of love with me. I don't think so. I think she was out of obsession with me. I wasn't given the attention, the time, the validation. Actually, that is the most crucial thing. The amount of time, the amount of meeting, the amount of you look great in this dress, whatnot. You're good at this game. You're really good at art. Blah blah blah. This kind of validation is what's critical. It's not of time. It's not amount of this and that you do. And that validation is what's driving her to continuously be with you. But in my perspective, that wasn't clear. I couldn't see that, okay, this person is with me because they're obsessed with me. It wasn't obvious. It wasn't in writing. Always what I would hear like as audio and from her face is love, 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 love. I love you so much. This is so great. I'm so happy to have you in my life. I want to be married with you, and even if you were married with someone else, I would come and take you away, and I'd be with you. I want you to capture me, kidnap me, blah blah blah. This is like the love, 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 kind of maybe the love bombing. I'm not even sure what to call it. And it was that way, so I felt like I was confused. I felt like I was. There's a big sign telling you that someone loves you, but yet you question it. And I realized that sign is actually not correct. So that's what happens in most people's lives too. There is the sign of love. There's the sign, people telling you that they literally love you, but you can sense or maybe you can see some things that is not love. That's what it is. Someone that prioritizes themselves and the benefits that they get over you, from you, maybe from your resources or from yourself, is not love. That's obsession. That goes into the category of obsession. And that's literally what it was. Even after we broke up, she said, why did I change the password of the Steam account I had? As if I'm going to still let her to use my Steam account after breaking up with her and breaking contact. Clearly, not as someone hating. I was never ever, I never saw her in a hating light. And not even towards her parents, her dad wasn't too nice at all. Her mum, in the middle, still all right person. And I didn't hate any of them, definitely not. And inside of me, I felt a little bit like I'm family member to her as well. But I felt that love, that is, if you're not around me, I'm still very happy for you. If you find some alternative route, some beauty somewhere, you live somewhere much better than me, fantastic. That's great news. It's amazing. Like, I would pay £10,000 just for that to happen. You live in somewhere that is, you feel at peace at. That's the most valuable, amazing thing that can happen. That's how I felt. And it wasn't the same way. And this person is keeping. I guess she didn't realize that she was not in love with me and instead obsessed. Maybe she tricked herself, I don't know how. But she had definitely problems of social media and contacting a lot of guys as options. Even, I don't know for how long, but even when we newly started dating, like literally been 2 weeks in, maybe 1 month in, she felt embarrassed of that she was speaking to another guy before me and still speaking with him, and she felt embarrassed in that, whatnot. And I forgave her and I moved on because I didn't think it was a big deal, because two people with great chemistry, they still continue. And her obsessions were too much in general, not just to me, but in anything, like on TikTok, on the videos, on attention seeking, was too much. 100%. She had obsession. She had obsession. I had obsessions as well, but my obsessions weren't as bad as hers. Like, it wasn't taking over my life. Obsessions. And it just consumed the way that she interacted even with her friends, anything, with her mum, with parents, with how she structured her life, where she chose to live, how she lived, what type of clothes she would wear. Everything would be structured on how would they find me appealing? How would I be accepted by this person, that person? And so that's how her life was. You know, for me, wasn't that way. I can't imagine my life in that way because it would just strip my identity. I just know it that it would. So it was very serious. I took it seriously. It was saddening, you know, for it to go that long. Even I would have broken up maybe 6 months into the relationship. It's just that it was the sadness that was keeping me still there. The sadness, the longing, I don't know, range of emotions. And one of them is you feel like, I felt like it was very weird, not only as my girlfriend, but I felt like she was my daughter. I felt like it's weird as it sounds. That's how it felt like. It felt like a piece of me, not belonging to me. So that analogy wouldn't actually be correct. Um, I don't know how to describe it. That's what's sad. And somebody that loves you is it doesn't really care too much if you are giving them. You don't have to give them anything whatsoever. You just literally exist, and they just love you. Literally, you make a stupid mistake. They shouldn't love you. They still love you. You make some stupid argument. You ask too many goddamn questions. You're behaving cringe for like 6 months, let's say. You have a bad fashion sense in that time period, in that stage. They will still love you. That's what love is. And that's what I didn't have. That's what I realized. So it was going through that procedure when I realized I felt isolated, I felt cold, I felt sadness to myself for me being in that position. Feeling unworthy, definitely, 100%. I felt like that as well. And yeah. You know, you don't expect perfection. Of course, I don't expect perfection. I don't expect somebody to love me and to be 100% correct. But I expect some human decency, you know, and that didn't exist. Probably because of immaturity. If someone is immature, they're not in the head of, I'm going to be considerate of you. It's more of what options do I have? What can I find? What better lifestyle and routines could I get into? It's just like chill, relax. You know, if we're having a good convo, if I don't know, you like the cooking that I'm doing, anything, just the jazz, the life, the music taste, the aura, then that's it. She was afraid of losing me. There was that, obviously. And if you're afraid of losing someone, that also goes into obsession. I was fine with letting go of her. Just concerned about her future, and because the environment that she had was definitely not pro her. It was more, how can I cater you to make you the life that I want to live. That's what her mum and some of her friends were doing. One of her friends. I think one of her friends were good and one of them was bad. And that girl, the one that was bad, I can only speak from a male perspective, so just bear that in mind. For guys, it might be different signs of who's obsessed and who's in love. From the girl that was bad, she was against guys. Like, she thought guys are bad in general, guys are like this. And she would often have casual intimacy with guys and not use a a protection or anything like that, and just a reckless person. So if you're taking any advice from anyone, number one thing maybe, or maybe like in the top category, is maturity and being cautious, being careful, being having their own principles and sticking to them in the general basis. If they're not doing that, it doesn't matter what comes out of their mouth, doesn't matter what past experience they've had, they're going to behave recklessly, both in their lives and your lives, in the external. That's it. Hopefully this meant something for you, and I'll see you in the next